is Hard on the Paint by Big Country Equipment.
Good morning, David. How are you?
Very good.
We're,
Thanks for joining us, Harrison. It's a pleasure to have you, Sterling, and Big Country here at ConExpo in Las Vegas.
Well, thank you for being on the podcast. That's Hard on the Paint. We're here at Las Vegas at the ConExpo 2026. It is, man, honestly, it's way better than it was when we came the last time. It is so many more products. There is, surprisingly, it wasn't as much innovation as I thought it was, but a lot of manufacturers are in the point of refining their products. So that's very unique. This is the first year that we got to be part of SANY, and so thank y'all for allowing us to be a dealer for y'all and be able to share the equipment. What is your experiences with ConExpo, and what is it?
Great. So ConExpo is the largest construction equipment show in North America. AEM, which is the Association of Equipment Manufacturers, hosts ConExpo, and they expect 140,000 visitors to ConExpo this year. One of the things that I think is interesting about ConExpo is, Vegas is famous for conventions, right?
Yeah.
And ConExpo is the largest convention in Las Vegas from an attendee standpoint. So I think the most well-known convention in Las Vegas is CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. And in 2023, ConExpo had more attendees than CES. So we'll see. CES is every year. ConExpo is every 3 years because it's expensive to bring all the equipment to Las Vegas, for all the OEMs. And but we'll see what happens here in 2026 if ConExpo again is the largest convention in Las Vegas. We'll compare ConExpo to CES.
Well, I saw a deal on social media today. Actually, it's 2.4 million square feet of show area, and I was like, man, that doesn't really sound like that much until you start walking it and you're going, okay, I get it. This is big.
There's over 1,000 exhibitors. So, of course, you have the large equipment OEMs, but also lots of companies that are in the aftermarket business, in the on-highway truck business, software companies, banks. I mean, everybody's here that supports the construction industry, and frankly, that's a big group of people across America.
When did you come to your first ConExpo, and was that with what manufacturer?
Yes, so I've been at SANY coming up on 2 years here, but I have 30 years in the industry, 28 years at Caterpillar. And so I don't know how many ConExpos and MineXpos I've been to, but over 10. So the first time I came was in the 1990s. It's a great way just to connect with customers. And then it's also a great way to connect with our dealers like Big Country, and we also have an opportunity to meet with suppliers. Sometimes it's for global companies like SANY, it's also a time to connect with some of our colleagues around the world that are here supporting the show.
Well, we were talking about it. We brought a bunch of our employees with us and customers, and a lot of the guys that came with us had never been here, and I'd only been here previously one time. And they're like, what should I expect? And I said, well, expect to be overwhelmed because there's literally everything. And just expect to walk a lot, but just be okay with not being able to see everything. And we were having this conversation, and they're like, man, this is the internet, and it was brought up to be technology driven, and it was going, even though we have the power of Google, we have the power of the internet, there's no way to see all the vendorships and the quality of vendorships, and you're going, man, that's something I should pick up to help my customer.
Right.
Not just to make money off of it, but I think this could actually help our customers save money. And I think y'all do probably the same thing. You know, you're seeing quality, and you're like, man, that's a brand I've never heard of. I've never seen an ad. I've never seen anybody mention them, and I didn't even know they existed. And this brings out and highlights it to the absolute T. For SANY, how long has SANY been around as a brand?
Yeah, so great question. Here at SANY America at ConExpo, we're celebrating our 20th anniversary. So 20 years in America for the SANY brand. So, in our industry, that's a relatively young brand. Globally, SANY just celebrated our 40th anniversary. And so, we are a global company with global manufacturing, global R&D, and global distribution around the world. And, we continue to grow. We have the 5th largest booth at ConExpo. We're highlighting 34 different models at ConExpo, several new models that we're introducing, I think 11, and we expect 30 new launches this year. Currently, SANY offers 68 different models across our product line in the U.S. and Canada.
Man, that's awesome. We were concerned when we were looking at the brand of how young it was and the recognition in America. And the more we dug into it, the more we just fell in love with the people of the corporation. And so thank y'all for always being invited to us and support our customers, because ultimately that's a reflection of us. We saw the opportunity and the potential in the product line and the diversity of it. I think it's one of the only product lines that's, as new as it is, that's going to help consumers to be able to have everything under one roof. And when we're talking to our customers, that's what they tell us. They're like, man, I don't want to go anywhere else. We want one supplier. We want one relationship. And I think SANY's doing a great job on fulfilling that portfolio. With that being said, what drove you to want to be at SANY? Because if you're over at Caterpillar, like this, heritage and all the budgets that they have to explore new technologies and just the histories with these, I would call them heritage customers. What drove you? I mean, what's the story behind Nichols' decision to come to SANY?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. First of all, Caterpillar is a fabulous company. I enjoyed my career there. It's a great company, and my father worked there, so I have a long legacy there. And, I enjoyed my time there. I learned a lot. SANY is the fastest growing brand in the world in the construction equipment business, and we're growing globally, and SANY is growing quickly here in North America, and I just want to be part of that journey. Our dealers are first generation hungry family-owned businesses that are working hard, and I enjoy that challenge. We consider our dealers part of the family. It's great to see the spouses here. Our customers that are here. Sometimes when they come to ConExpo, it's more than just business. They may be taking their vacation here and doing a little bit of sightseeing, and they have their family, and maybe you can comment on this, but we've tried to make our booth here at ConExpo very welcoming. We've got country music and southern barbecue, and SANY is based in Georgia, so we have sweet tea and Georgia peanuts here. We partnered with one of the companies that finds homes for dogs, so we've got some hopefully pets are going to find homes this week, and some puppies in the booth. And we just want to have that family type of atmosphere for folks to enjoy our kind of southern hospitality while they're learning about great products.
Well, I think you nailed that on top of the head. I've been to a handful of the booths around here, bopping in between meetings and seeing customers and seeing new products. And with that being said, I mean, the booth here is probably one of the most fluid booths that, it's easy to get in and out. But whoever designed it to where it attracts you to see the products. You don't just walk in and walk out and be like, oh, well, there's some tractors there. The music, the artists that are here are just knocking it out of the park. We had one of our guests singing here that had come on our show, Gunnar Latham, and his crew, and Josh Grider and Lawson. I mean, they're really knocking out that hospitality, like, hey, come here, come enjoy the time, and while you're here, have some drinks and meet our people. If you want to talk about tractors, let's talk about tractors. If you want to talk about relationships, or you want to talk about the future or whatever, everybody at this booth has been so hospitable to every outsider and welcomer that came through. And I overheard a handful of people saying, man, this place is a vibe. And that's a good culture. Culture is a big thing nowadays. I think we get a lot of technicians, we get a lot of great people that come into our dealership and get to enter our lives and be a part of our lives through work. And the one thing they tell us is, the culture in the business is fun. It's not just a job. And I think y'all orientate that really well to the consumers, as well as we actually do care. We want to solve problems for you. We want to be a part of your success story. And I think y'all are orientating that so well.
Well, at the end of the day, what we're really trying to do as we form relationships with our customers and dealers is build trust around the SANY brand. I could sit here and talk all day about the outstanding engineering and quality manufacturing that goes into our machines. And that's supported by the longest standard warranty in the business, 5 years, 5,000 hours. But at the end of the day, these are tractors. They're gonna break. They need to be maintained. They need to be repaired. And we want our customers to have the trust that a dealer like Big Country is gonna stand behind that machine and make sure that they get back up and running today, tomorrow, because we understand how important uptime is in their business. And, at the end of the day, we're all running businesses, and we want our customers to be using a great machine that's productive and high quality, but at the same time, when it does break, we want them to have that trust that Big Country and the rest of our dealer network stands behind the machine to get it back up and running.